So Helldivers, the Hivelord is officially here, and oh my god, this thing is so much fun to fight. It is a complete beast, and it's so imposing when it appears on a map. So I am here to tell you that not only is this thing killable, but you could actually take it down without a full 4 squad. Yes, friends, I'm going to show you tips and tricks of how to take this down in duos like I was able to tonight with my brother. So stay tuned as we show it off. Okay, so first things that you're going to want to know is that you're definitely going to want to bring anti-tank with you, something for crowd control, because there's going to be a hell of a lot of spawn waves on you, because once you engage the Hive Lord, everything's aggroed around you, and they're all coming to protect their leader. But then also you're going to want to bring, good support stratagems, the rate booster, all that good stuff, and make sure that you're working cohesively with your unit. So we focused heavily on using eruptors with the quasar cannon. I like to use the emancipator mech for this, whereas my brother was more focused on staying alive on the ground over there. But then we also both brought the portable hell bomb, because that's going to be doing a bulk of the damage. I was using the dynamite grenades, whereas he was using the thermites. And we were using the laser turret and the Gatling sentry for that crowd control. But friends, let's see it off in action over here. Okay, as you can see here, we did have the mission where you get to have the 2-man heavy transport truck. So since it has a strong autocannon on it, I figured, why don't I get some lovely shots off on the Hivelord for as long as I can with the ammo that I have, and honestly, it does some pretty good damage. Okay, so since the Hivelord has about 150,000 health on it, it will take a lot of shots, as you can see. But that's why we bring the quasar and why I'm throwing the dynamite as I can, because anytime that I can get an anti-tank shot off on it, I'm going to be cracking those off. And as you can see, once it's aggroed, it's going to come at you pretty hard. So I'm having to dodge as it slams on the ground, because it will one-shot you, friends. So make sure it doesn't land on your head. But 2,000 damage a pop from the quasar and 700 from that dynamite, it definitely helps. Okay, so as this guy's popping out again, I'm charging that quasar shot, I'm getting it off, I'm trying to bob and weave and dodge his acid, because if it hits you, friends, that's going to do a ton of damage, if not kind of kill you outright. But you could also see the problem is that I wasn't paying attention to the hordes around me, and unfortunately, as I'm trying to dodge, I got taken out, so you're going to have to be more aware than what I was doing. But we got in that focus damage, and that's what I was trying to accomplish here. Okay, so in this next bit, it was really important that I pulled the aggro, since I did not have the Hellbomb on me at the time, but my brother did. So it was on me to kind of make sure that he's looking at me, that the enemies are looking at me, so my brother can get in with that Hellbomb and drop it off and do a ton of damage. And you can see that explosion's huge, but he will burrow very quickly, so if you're not fast with dropping it off, you're going to have a wasted Hellbomb, so do be careful about that. Okay, so I talked about this before, but it's super important to bring a mech with you, especially when you're going to run duos. You don't have the benefit of a 4-man squad laying down all the cover as possible. So I brought the Emancipator because it has the dual autocannons. Now, not only can I do great crowd control, but I could focus on all the heavies, and it does a ton of damage, especially when you aim near either the weak spots in the cracked armor of the Hivelord, or near its face, where you're going to get all of those red hit markers. So as you can see over here, it's been super effective for me. And honestly, without it, we probably wouldn't have done as well. So super glad that we had it with us. So again, using my mech and my ammo to prioritize against the Hivelord, but I have a ton of enemies around me. So when I get the opportunities too, I'm shooting down the Shriekers that are coming at me. I'm making sure that the guys aren't getting close, but you can only take so much damage because the mech doesn't have a ton of armor and it does run out of ammo, so I had to abandon it at a certain point and get back down to my ground tactics. Okay, so over here we worked very close together to make sure that we could focus fire. So we started off with just spamming our grenades on him as soon as he came out of the hole, putting our heavy shots on him as well with our quasar cannons, but then giving time to drop another Hellbomb on him, which again is doing a huge bulk of the damage, so making sure that anytime you have the Hellbomb, you prioritize dropping it on the Hivelord and not missing.
No, it's not dead.
Once again, I was trying to pull the aggro of the Hivelord as it's coming out of the ground. Now, the Eruptor can actually do damage to the Hivelord, although very little damage unless you get it directly in the mouth. It's only going to do small white hit markers, but you can get that red one. But again, letting a Hell Bomb go off and taking out yet another chunk of the damage. Okay, so you can't actually forget, all the other units, and we did have Bile Titans constantly coming at us, and didn't really have anything on hand, so normally a good Quasar Shot can kind of one-shot these guys, but I was a little off-center, so we did work as a cohesive unit to bring it down, and that's why I loved the combination of the Quasar with the laser cannon, kind of doing the extra damage, and then my good old brother throwing down that Gatling Barrage just to kind of finish it off. Okay, so how do we tell when we are starting to do more damage on the Hivelord? Well, obviously, other than hitting it a couple times with some big explosions, you can look for the wear and tear on its body, and it's hard to see from farther away, so you have to be up close. Or you can also tell from this. It will start to spawn more frequently out of the ground and aggro you a lot more when it's on its back half of its life. So be sure to, kind of look out for that, and when it does happen, to change up your tactics, and movement is going to play much more heavily into your strategy now because you're going to be doing a lot more dodging. So this is when we were finally whittling down the Hivelord to his last legs, and as you can see, we're also at the last bit of our reinforcements. Now, you should probably, for when you're doing this, bring a better booster to give you more lives. So we didn't have that, so it was a little bit challenging, and we had to really lock in to make sure that we can get this done. But again, we just kind of put all the tactics and the cohesion of our strategy together to make sure that we were burning down the boss while also being careful for anyone coming around us. And I'm not kind of showing you all the pains of all the different hordes that we've had to fight throughout this level because there's copious amounts of them, but we were also very good about locking down as they were spawning so they wouldn't constantly be up on us, and we can then take our time to do the damage to the Hivelord. Okay, this is when we finally got the Hivelord, so I'm just going to play the clip and shut up.
Dude, I'm gonna use mine. Yeah. Did I kill it? Did I kill it?
I don't know.
Oh, dude, I got it.
Okay, so there you have it. It took us about 30 minutes to take the beast down, and we had a ton of fun. I would 100% do it again, even though it was painful at times, and we thought that we would lose maybe 100 times throughout that match. But we were able to lock in, but you're not going to be able to burn this guy fast. But after that, we had to pose with our trophy and see kind of the comparison of the Helldiver up close, and this thing is an ugly bastard, but we had a ton of fun. But I also want to show off that we did complete the full operation and give you a little tip and trick on how to maneuver and operate the heavy rig truck. So the big truck moves very slow. It's like a huge 18-wheeler basically, but as I mentioned before, it does have that big autocannon, so your buddy can be on the back being the gunner while you are being the driver. And also you could see here that you could get on top of the truck, and we were using the Eruptor to close the bug holes so that they couldn't jump up on us, and then waiting until we were in position and, just doing the mission and getting in and out pretty fast. So unfortunately for us, we had our exfil with inside one of the caves, and if you know those cave biomes, they're pretty dangerous. So we actually lost my brother in the end fight, and I was the last man standing, but I did actually get reinforced on top of the mountain, so I used that to my benefit to kind of kill the clock down, and I was planning to, kill every guy and then dive into the Pelican at the end, but because there's clipping issues, I kind of fell through part of the floor and slid down, and as you can see here, was obliterated by all the bugs on the bottom. So I actually didn't get to exfil, so sad. I wanted to make it back to my ship in one piece, but unfortunately we couldn't get it done. Well, Helldivers, there you have it. I hope that you enjoyed that. We really had a fun time taking on this beast, and I'm hopefully able to show off a good strategy that could be suitable for, your attempts on taking this guy on. So if you did appreciate the content, please be sure to like and subscribe, as it really helps us grow on the channel here. Well, we'll see you in the next one. Take care, friends.